Molt bon febrer, amigues, amics. Per l'edició d'aquest butlletí, amb l'entrevista d'aquest mes, no podíem estar més contents de comptar amb la presència d'un dels tenors més sensacionals de l'actualitat i que aquest darrer mes ha estat conquerint els nostres cors en diferents funcions aquí al Liceu i que estem a punt d'encara conèixer amb major profunditat, no només en aquesta entrevista, sinó en el ballo in maschera de Verdi. Estem parlant del tenor Freddie de Tommaso. Freddie, thank you very much for being here with us. And well, we get to know you, the friends of the Opera House, to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Actually, we always ask the same question to all our singers, which is like, how do you decide to become an opera singer? How life takes you into this path?
Well, I wasn't one of those children or young people that grew up thinking, oh, I want to be a singer. For me, singing was something I did extra, at school, like sport. It was just an extra curricular activity, which I enjoyed, but I never thought would become my profession. And I actually stopped singing for a little while between the ages of 18 and 20 or so. I didn't sing at all. I went to university to study languages. I didn't sing in a choir or anything like that. And it was actually only then when I returned from university, I started to sing initially with my old school singing teacher, and then I went to the Royal Academy of Music and started to sing, to study singing, initially as a baritone. It was at that point, after a few months of being at the Royal Academy of Music, where I thought, oh yeah, okay, I could do this as a job.
Okay, and when do you switch from baritone to tenor?
In the second year of my study, so about a year and a half in. Yeah.
Okay, that's very fascinating. I mean, reading your biography, I had gazillion questions for you, but because now recently we have had you very much here in Barcelona, is actually what I like you to ask mostly, but beginning, it could be like maybe when you won the Viñas.
Yeah.
How was the feeling now you were giving the awards this recent edition?
Yeah, so 2018 is when I did the Viñas, and that was the beginning of my career completely, because I was a student still at that time. I was 23, I think, and I was a student in London, and I didn't really have any idea of how I was going to start the career. You think, oh well, you have to do auditions for young artist programs and hope that slowly it goes that way, but instead it was suddenly like took off crazy. So that was the beginning of my career. So then to be back here 6 years later, to be here to sing the recital with Lise, then to do now ballo in maschera, to give the prizes, as you said, to hand out the prizes at this year's Viñas competition. It was really, really cool, and it was a feeling of not a homecoming, but a sense of kind of returning to where it all started is really nice feeling.
I used to be a lawyer, so don't ask this question if you don't want to. Exactly how old are you? Because I'm shockingly astounded when reading your biography how young your career has took off. I mean,
it's because I was so young when I did the Viñas, and I've just turned 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because to me, for example, one of the things that shook me a lot was the Tosca in Covent Garden. I mean, you were one of the youngest singers to sing it.
Yeah, the youngest.
The youngest, if I'm not wrong, 27, and also
I remember.
The first one from Great Britain, also.
Not the first one, but the first one for a long time. The last English tenor to sing Cavaradossi in Covent Garden before me was Charles Craig, and I think it was in 1968. So a long time. How was the experience? I cannot imagine. That was great as well. Yeah, that was a big jump, because before that, the role that I'd sung in Covent Garden before singing Cavaradossi was a few years before the pandemic, Cassio in Otello, which it's not a comprimario role, but it's not far off. It's a small I mean, very important for the story.
True.
Very important for the story, but not so important in terms of the opera. So to go from singing that role to then singing Cavaradossi in Tosca, you know, one of the most kind of iconic tenor roles, was a big one. But it was fun. It was good.
Awesome, perfect.
Yeah.
And then magic happens here at Liceu. You were scheduled to do the debut with the recital with Lise Davidsen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, for some of us, lucky us who were at that night.
Oh, were you there? Yeah.
Yes, I was there. I mean, you
that was
have
great,
to just...
I was really lucky with that situation though, because I mean, jump-ins can be incredibly stressful, especially if you have to travel on the day and all that kind of thing. Obviously, I was here already rehearsing Ballet Maschera and for the recital with Lise. So I didn't have the travel stress. Also, the production here, the Vieto production, I have done before.
Okay.
I did it in Wiener Staatsoper, also with Clémentine Margen, the same girl singing Carmen. So there was a lot of there were a lot of kind of variables which could have been against me, but they on that day they were for me. And then Don José is a character that I love to sing. So
how so? Why?
Yeah. Because sometimes some characters in opera can be quite one-dimensional. Sometimes they, you know, they don't always have much of an arc, character arc, whereas some characters, and specifically ones that I really like to play, have big character arcs, and Don José is a perfect example of that.
Sure.
He has a really big character arc, if you think where you start at the beginning of the opera, but even if you think about before the opera started, you know, his history as a character, why he's in the army, you know, why he's not in his hometown with his mother, you know, the fact that he's a murderer already, he's got this, this is like the basis of the character, and then where you go with it across the course of the opera. That's why I like it.
No, and the chemistry, I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I keep asking when I interview singers here at Liceu, it's like also not only for the singing part, but also for the acting part. And I'm thinking about this character because it's so electrifying throughout the entire change that he goes from act first to the last one.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. And especially, you know, in today's opera world, there's so much live streaming and recording and all that kind of thing. It's so much more important that acting takes kind of a front seat in the whole process. Whereas, you know, years ago it wasn't so much. You know, it was kind of almost more static, whereas now, you know, directors have so much more power. You know, it used to be that the conductor was the kind of the person that ran the show, so to speak, and now directors have got so much more power. There's so much more emphasis put on acting as well as singing. So yeah, it's important to do.
And from there we jump to the recital, which was also electrifying. The chemistry with Lise was absolutely fantastic. The duets, the solos, and you even had recorded with her for your recital album, isn't it? That she sang some of the...
On my second album, on Il Tenore, the duet, the Tosca duet, is with her. Yeah.
Yes. No, you could tell that it was absolutely fantastic, that recital, and it takes two nowadays, which is that you are rehearsing for Ricardo for the Ballet Maschera. How's everything going, and how's
great.
Your relationship?
It's a really, really nice team, really good energy. Everybody is just super talented, super good. I'm really enjoying the process.
And how's your relationship with the character?
With the Ricardo?
Yeah.
It's developing, because this is the first time that I have done this part scenically. You know, I sang Ballet Maschera a couple of years ago in the Verbier Festival, but this is the first time that I'm doing it in a stage production. So there's developments to be made. I've spoken several times with Jacopo, the director, about how we show him as a man, how we're trying to be faithful to the history of the man as character, you know, to Gustavo, the King of Sweden. He had lots of different aspects to his character, of which I'm trying to show as many as possible.
Great. I mean, I keep thinking that, it was Pavarotti's favorite role, so I was thinking like, I don't know how every tenor kind of faces the challenge of a new character. And
I mean, you start singing it and see how it goes.
And off we go.
To be honest, that's for me,
That's great, and we'll be seeing you also in Maurizio in Adriana.
Yeah, in the summer, that'll be great. That's an amazing opera. That's really cool.
You sung also before this character?
Yeah, I did it a couple of years ago in Milan, in La Scala. Yeah.
We kind of say that here the audience at Liceu really loves the voices. So I think we really have a new relationship with you, and we just fell in love with your voice. And actually, because we had like this kind of quick relationship, like in a matter of months, like from Carmen to Ricardo. How are you feeling here at the theater?
Oh, I really like it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I had when I came for the Viñas in 2018, it was the first time I'd ever come to Barcelona. Actually, it was the first time I ever came to Spain. First time, and now returning now, it's really great to be back here. I like the city.
Great. Thank you very much. Do you have any kind of new character that you're expecting in the future? So
after here, I'll go to Naples to sing my debut of Pollione in Norma. And then after that, I'll go to Vienna to sing Gabriele Adorno in Simon Boccanegra. That's a debut for me as well. And then with each year, generally I try to just to put one or maybe two debuts a year.
Okay.
Because you have to give these things time. You have to bet them in. And there's no need to rush with these things.
True, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time. We do hope to enjoy you for many, many, many years here at Liceu, and thank you very much for sharing your time and your knowledge with our friends of the Opera House. Amigues, amics, fins la propera. Gràcies.